you're lucky like us to have a good job, you probably don't think about state unemployment department much, but you might need to.
That's because thousands of hard-working Michiganders are discovering thieves have filed for unemployment benefits using their names. And problem solver Rob Wolchek says sometimes they're getting away with it.
Amy and Dave, someone might be collecting unemployment in your name, and you may not even know it. And the people from the state of Michigan Unemployment Agency are having a hard time stopping it. Jerry and Mike are technicians who work for Williams Refrigeration. How long have you worked for this company?
Roughly 37 years.
So imagine the surprise when Jerry and Mike were told they had filed for unemployment.
You don't gotta go to work.
Or at least someone using their names and jobs had filed. You get called into the office and they say what?
You filed for unemployment.
But you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Mike's worked for Williams for 10 years, never been laid off or fired. Yet his company received this notice in November saying he'd filed for unemployment. And the state of Michigan determined that Michael is able to establish a claim.
Our HR person, she immediately sent off, when she received it, faxes to the state that this is fraudulent. They've gone on lines, filed it as fraudulent. They filed police reports and everything that we can do.
They got the same notice for Jerry. Whoever the fraud artist who filed this phony claim didn't even spell his name right. The HR department faxed back copies of the paperwork exclaiming in big lettering, "This is a fraudulent claim." And that seemed to work for Jerry's claim, but Mike's unemployment benefits kept on getting processed.
On the unemployment section, and there was a spot in there you could click on and fill out a fraud, and it'll automatically send it to the right people in charge. And I did that.
And did it stop?
No.
In January, the company received this letter stating Michael had been paid $362 a week in unemployment benefits. But Mike wasn't getting the money. The identity thief was getting it, apparently through direct deposit into his or her bank. At the end of January, the company got this notice. Yep, the phony Michael was still getting paid unemployment while the real Michael was hard at work. There goes another $724 of taxpayer money to a crook. They sent more responses to the unemployment people. This is a fraudulent claim. Yet, on February 14th, they got this Valentine's Day gift. Another record of unemployment payouts to a crooked Cupid. Somebody in the unemployment department is a dummy.
Maybe, or maybe they're part of the problem.
Finally, on March 6, Mike received this notice saying his unemployment benefits were stopped. How come? You were required to report to the Problem Resolution Office by December 22, 2017, and you failed to report as directed. But wait a minute, nobody showed to the unemployment office in December to verify the claim, and it took until March before they finally cut the benefits off? So how much money was doled out before the blunder got fixed? $3,620.
You don't gotta go to work.
Now meet Matt. Matt's a corporate lawyer. In January, someone filed for unemployment under his name. You have no idea why you were chosen.
No clue.
To Matt, it seemed the unemployment department didn't care.
Tried to contact the unemployment insurance agency and I couldn't get a hold of anybody.
He filled out the fraud report online, contacted the cops, the unemployment papers just kept on coming.
You don't gotta go to work.
So then what did you do?
I actually called the governor's office.
They got the unemployment agency to call him and said they'd stop the claim if he could prove he was the real Matt Schaefer.
They wanted a copy of my driver's license, my social security card, as well as my birth certificate they had to fax over.
So who's in charge of Michigan's unemployment insurance agency? Michelle Beebe is the senior deputy director. Do you have to go down and meet somebody and show your ID?
In select cases, yes.
In select cases?
In select cases. It's not a requirement across the board.
Remember, Mike the heating guy was one of those select cases.
We do notify the employers, and they play a critical role in letting us know if something seems amiss about a claim. And we take that quite seriously.
Not seriously enough, because Mike's employer sent all kinds of messages to you. I show Michelle the letters Mike and his employer started sending them back in November of last year.
In January of 2018, so shortly after these instances happened, we did a complete overhaul of the way that work flows through our system for identity theft claims.
Then I show her this, the payments that were doled out to Mike's identity thief in January. You guys were still paying the bad guys the money, even though the employee and the employer were saying, stop paying the money, it's fraudulent. What happened?
And so this is absolutely not acceptable. This is not the way to run a business. This is not the way to pay out government benefits. In this particular case, the changes that we've implemented since it was filed should prevent this from occurring in the future.
Then I show her this. You were talking about how you were implementing a new system in January, and here in February, you're still paying the bad guy. How did that happen?
We did see an increase in identity theft claims being filed around the January-February time period. And so at the beginning of March, we actually brought in some extra staff to address the calls that come into our fraud hotline. We had a number of voicemails that had been left, and we cleared out all of those voicemails.
You better get a job.
She didn't really answer my question. She does claim, however, that the new changes will stop this from happening again. But I gotta wonder, how much money does the state waste giving it to scam artists? And can't they catch them?
I think that's an important deterrence factor, is that people are being held accountable, that the criminals are being prosecuted for this fraudulent activity.
And they are.
They are.
Okay, so how bad is this problem? They caught a guy from Brownstown Township doing this, and he was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. That's good, but this guy stole more than $700,000 using hundreds of IDs before he was caught. The state also put a stop to the fraudulent payments we just told you about, and Michael and Williams Refrigeration are off the hook.
All right, so Rob, we just heard the state say, well, this is unacceptable. What are they doing about this?
All right, tomorrow we're going to find out. They're having a big unemployment insurance agency. They're rolling out some new plan that's going to catch the crooks. It's a big initiative, and hopefully it'll save the state some money. But also, one of the things is that when this is so prevalent that when I was researching this story, I happened to have heard a rumor that there were employees here at Fox 2 that had fraud perpetrated against them. Yeah. So I went to the front office and I found out that 5 employees here at Fox 2 were working, and somebody filed for unemployment in their names in the last year alone. Yeah. And Mr. Dave Spencer was one of them.
I got that same letter that you showed in the piece there, and I had to go down to the office and prove that it was actually me, take a ticket, wait in line. It took up a half a day of my time. Luckily they didn't get any money from me, or the station for that matter, but it's a hassle. And I asked the people when I was there, I was interested in if this is a story. They said this happens to them all the time. It takes up all their time to fill out these, make sure that you are actually who you say you are.
And you're the good guy, right? And you have to prove that I'm the real Dave Spencer. I'm not an unemployed guy. Yeah. I'm Dave Spencer, and I'm working full-time. Meanwhile, you can fill out this application online, and apparently a lot of people are doing it, and they're getting money from the state.
Well, and I think not only is it just cumbersome, it takes up half your day, and they're full-time and all of that, but now you have to go through life with this undue burden of the fact that somebody tried to steal your identity. Yeah. So you're constantly on guard.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, this isn't the first time my identity has been stolen, so everything I have is pretty much locked down. My credit's locked down, everything like that. I got a PIN for everything. Yeah,
well, the state's got to stop this. Yeah, so, I mean, they got to put it into this. I don't know whether they should have people go down and file in person like they used to have it. I know it saves them money to do all this stuff online, but it just seems as though we're losing a lot of money in fraud. And I was really mad, and that was the one thing that I was really disappointed with from the lady from the state, was that I was mad that the $3,600 that we had proved to her was stolen. I was mad about it, and she didn't really seem to get her feathers ruffled too much. So
yeah, you didn't really get an explanation as to how it happened. All right, Rob, well, let's hope you get it stopped.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
How about these cold temperatures?